हेलो। अच्छा मैं सर, कैन you hear me?
हाँ. Should we
I
start?
can hear you. Yeah. Six. It's start. We can start.
Yes. So let's start.
The Dr.M.V.L.Kothari Chair and Division for Medical Humanities and Gosumec Alumni Association, under the patronage of Dr. Sangeeta Rawat, Dean, Seth, GSMC and KEM Hospital, welcomes you all to this session of Reminiscence. I will request the tech team to play the video of Medical Humanities. It is the students' past and the present that makes our college what it is. So, as our Twin Institute moves towards the centenary, we wanted to give a virtual platform to every batch of GSMC to share their fondest memories of the college. Their thoughts and emotions will be preserved forever in the form of these reminiscences. I request the tech team to show the GA form. To remain connected to our alma mater and informed about the activities in KEM, including its centenary celebration, we request you to become the members of the Gosumec Alumni Association, the official alumni body that says GSMC. All the details and about this membership form are available on the KEM website. Now I request the tech team to play the Gosumec Foundation video.
Introducing Gosumec Foundation USA, where our mission is to connect, contribute, and engage. We aim to foster a dynamic connection within our geographically diverse community while nurturing the growth and development of our alma mater. Central to our mission is the paramount goal of supporting student welfare, ensuring the next generation of graduates receive the resources and guidance they need to thrive. Please visit our website, gosumec.org, and delve into meticulously curated content showcasing the captivating history of our institution, along with notable milestones and achievements. Discover insightful pages dedicated to the M.V.L.Kothari Division of Medical Humanities and delve into the treasure trove of our alma mater's archives. Engage with our dedicated studio page and immerse yourself in inspiring features such as Alumni of the Month and insightful contributions from experts like Dr. Dilip Jeste and Dr. Jag Singh. With something for everyone, gosumec.org serves as a dynamic canvas for collaboration and growth. Exciting news! Our secure web based portal, now complemented by a convenient mobile app, is officially live. To join Gosumecs worldwide, yes, even from Iceland, simply click the login link at the top right corner of our webpage or visit alumni.gosumec.org. Our alumni community progresses through 4 stages: recent graduates navigating their entry into the professional world, early settlers establishing careers and families, seasoned professionals leveraging their expertise to empower others, and legacy members creating a lasting impact for future generations. Through our foundation, we unite alumni from diverse backgrounds, fostering a sense of belonging and camaraderie. Here, you can securely engage with one another, share wisdom on message boards, and thrive by creating and sharing content. Additionally, benefit from various opportunities, including training positions, jobs, and who knows, you may even find your life partner here. Join us on this journey of connection, contribution, and collective engagement. Join us in expanding our global community by becoming ambassadors of the Gosumec Foundation. As leaders and class representatives, your role is pivotal in welcoming fellow Gosumec friends and fostering engagement. Connect with one another, share insights, seize opportunities, and participate in vibrant message boards. Your contributions, including sharing artistic content, enrich our community, transforming it into a valuable network of connections. Together, we navigate the complexities of our world, supported by the bonds forged within our Gosumec family. With gratitude, Sanjay Bindra, representing the board at Gosumec Foundation, USA.
Saud, are you there?
I think that, ma'am, he lost. So shall I play the
Yeah,
collaboration video?
please play the scholarship video.
Now I request Dr. Kansan Kothari ma'am to take over the meetings.
No, we'll just have the scholarship video first and then. So,
So I request the
One
tech
second.
team to play the scholarship video.
Scholarships passionately. Gosumec Foundation USA scholarships passionately strive to empower deserving students by offering crucial need-based support, unlocking doors to success, and shattering the constraints of financial barriers. In its inaugural year of 2023, the Bridges to MBBS and More Scholarship with Jyoti Shanbag Haven Initiative proudly embraced and uplifted 17 scholars, comprising 16 dedicated medical students and one passionate occupational therapy student. Notably, the initiative celebrated the inclusion of four inspiring female scholars, marking an important step towards a brighter and more inclusive future. In the heart of Seth Gordandas Sundardas Medical College, the growing demand for financial assistance resonates deeply, especially among our dedicated students pursuing paths as occupational therapists, physical therapists, and medical technicians. It's disheartening to acknowledge that occupational therapy students and medical technicians, despite their immense dedication, do not currently receive government aid, making them the most vulnerable in their need for support. Together, let's bridge this gap and stand strong with these aspiring professionals. The Gosumec Foundation USA passionately envisions a united Gosumec community supporting our noble cause, the Collaborative Scholarship Project. We dream of creating a nurturing space for students globally with backing not only from the US, but India and globally as well. Guided by Dean Dr. Sangeeta Rawat, this initiative will persist in championing students, fulfilling their financial needs, and offering invaluable mentorship through the Dosti initiative and the compassionate touch of the medical humanities team. Together, let's weave a tapestry of support, transcending borders and fostering dreams. The Gosumec Foundation USA pledges to amplify the impact of every rupee raised in India, creating an exponential doubling of support that reaches even more students. Every rupee raised in India will be matched by the foundation. Contributions in US dollars from the US and around the world will find their way to the DGST account at KEM, while Indian donors can directly contribute in rupees, enjoying tax advantage donations to DGST. The joyous anticipation of students upon receiving this much needed scholarship is a testament to the transformative power of collective generosity. Let's come together, hand in hand, and passionately spread the message. Let's encourage and uplift one another to support this noble initiative, benefiting numerous aspiring professionals at our beloved alma mater, a place that has enriched us both professionally and personally. The unifying force of gratitude and generosity is poised to unleash an avalanche of much needed assistance, ensuring the enduring legacy of our cherished institution. Together, our collective efforts will make a profound impact and carry forward the spirit of giving back. The need based support provided by the Collaborative Scholarship Project is not just a financial aid, it's a catalyst for a virtuous cycle. In this cycle, today's recipients are poised to become tomorrow's donors, creating a profound amplification and sustainable continuity for this heartfelt initiative. It's more than assistance, it's the transformative power of reciprocity, ensuring that the spirit of giving thrives and grows through the hands of those who were once recipients. Exciting news for Indian Gosumecs. Join forces with Dean Dr. Sangeeta Rawat, Dr. Lopa Mehta, and HOD Physiology Dr. Shenvi. Your participation can create a meaningful impact as you contribute tax deductible funds to the Diamond Jubilee Society Trust, DJST. For every student supported with rupees 60,000 in fees, Gosumec Foundation USA will match that support, thus doubling the impact. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to collaborate, create positive change, and support a cause that truly matters. With gratitude, Gosumec Foundation USA.
Now I request Dr. Kothari ma'am to take over the meeting. Ma'am, you're muted.
Thank you very much, sir. So today our program is slightly different. Instead of having a batch come in and share their memories and reminisce about their days in KEM, we have a very special interview today. We will be playing an interview of Dr. Pragna Pai Madam, the first lady to be Dean of Seth GS Medical College and KEM Hospital. This interview is by Dr. Ravi Ramakantan, sir, former professor and head of radiology and one of the founders of our Humanities division. To tell you a little bit about Dr. Pragna Pai ma'am, ma'am took charge as Dean of KEM on 1st December 1989 after having spent 3 decades at her alma mater, TN Medical College and Nair Hospital, where she held various positions, including Professor and Head of Pediatrics and Dean. Madam came here in KEM in 1989, and she was the Dean from 1989 to 1999. She was an able administrator, a strict disciplinarian, and she always held the patient's and her students' best interest at heart. She brought about several important changes to improve patient care as well as uphold the high standards of education in our institute. A prolific author, she had over 250 publications in scientific journals and has also authored 26 books, both on pediatrics as well as on hospital administration. So today in our interview, we will be listening to Madam's experiences as Dean of St. GS Medical College and KEM Hospital, and we'll also benefit from her wisdom. So I request Mr. Tushar to please play the interview.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for joining in this series of interviews with the Dean. My name is Ravi Ramakantan. I'm a radiologist from KEM Hospital, and I have this privilege of interviewing Dr. Pragna Pai, who all of us know as first as the Dean of the Nair Hospital and then as the Dean of KEM Hospital, I think between 1989 and 1999. Ma'am, thank you again for joining, and this is really interesting because people would like to know more about you.
Pleasure, my pleasure.
Yeah, the person that you are. So let me start with your childhood. In the sense, yeah,
Okay.
in the sense that where did you grow, which school did you go to, and who your parents were? What was their profession or whatever?
Okay. I studied in Santa Cruz, Podar School, and my father was electrical engineer. But all throughout, I've lived with my grandparents, maternal grandparents. And my grandfather was founder principal of Podar School. And I went there, studied there. And parents were alive and staying nearby only, but I lived with my grandparents.
So interesting to grow up with grandparents, and I grew up in a joint family, so I know how grandparents treat you and what benefits you have of growing up in grandparents. The next question I'm going to ask you is about your school education. for me, my school means a lot. My values that I learned in school have lived with me. So what impact has school education had on your school teachers before you grew up into a big
Yeah.
girl?
It has great impact on me also. And I was good in studies, but lazy in, I shouldn't say lazy. Good in studies means performing well, but efforts were hardly any. But the teachers and the discipline and the other activities of the school really helped me a lot. Because not only academics, but there are many other activities like music, singing, yoga, and all that. And as luck would have it, I was interested in everything except studies. But I could manage from fourth standard onwards. I stood first throughout till matriculation.
You said you could manage in studies, and you say that you were first all along. That's being very,
I
very self-evasive. Yeah. Okay.
got away with studying,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's interesting. That the question I wanted to ask you next was beyond studies, what hobbies or what game did you play? And you mentioned about music. So what type of music did you play? Any instrument? Did you sing?
Little bit of harmonium, but I was vocal music. I was singing.
Okay, I mean classical music or Hindi folk songs, or
Both semi-classical, classical.
did you formally learn music, singing music?
No, imitation from my mother.
Oh,
And
okay.
very short time there was a teacher, but I used to participate in a lot of programs. So rehearsals were actually training grounds.
Okay. So there were school competitions in which you participated and stuff like
Yes,
that?
yes, plenty.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I have a request, ma'am. Can you make the phone a little more vertical? Because, yeah, that's better. That's good. That's perfect. Yeah, thank you. Whoever did that. Then we come to this obvious question, but it is important to know, is when did you decide to become a doctor?
Okay, it's a very peculiar story. We have to go to when I was born. My mother was 21-year-old, very fair, very pink, good looking. And when I was born, the relative came to sort of visit us in the nursing home. And one of my aunties told that Niliben's daughter, so dark, we'll take her. And it was very traumatic for my mother, obviously, first child. And I was born on their first wedding anniversary anyway. So my mother became very conscious of the complexion, my complexion. And in our community, in other community, fair skin is the main thing or only thing. So she did all experiments on me to make me fair. That is hydrogen peroxide, chana atta, and haldi, and there was some whitening cream known as fluorozone those days. I recollect still, but it was guaranteed fast color, so nothing happened. So she started brainwashing me and telling me that even if you remain unmarried in later life, it is if you are ICS or doctor, then people treat you with respect. That time there was no IAS, it was ICS, Indian Civil Service. So that's all. So what is ICS? I didn't know. What is medical? I didn't know. But that was playing with my mind that I must go to medical college. And there were hardly any efforts required. And my grandfather, who was a Sanskrit literature person, he thought that I'm better in arts, in journalism, arts or literature. But he didn't interfere at all in my decision. And inter science, I got 68%, including languages and everything, and easy admission. So because my mother had told me this, I decided to go to medical college, not knowing what will be later life or what will be consequences.
Yeah. As you say, this is a really, really interesting story. It has a lot of social repercussions about color and stuff like that. Which medical college? I mean, I also went through the inter-science thing, and coincidentally, I also got 67 point something percent. And
Okay.
in those days, it was so easy to get.
Yes, yes.
So I chose GS Medical College. So which college did you study in?
At that time, when I got admission, GS, TN Medical College and JJ Hospital had separate interviews, no common interview. And Sion Hospital was not existing. I mean, Sion Medical College was not existing. So I got the call first in Nair, Topiwala College, accepted it. Then I got called for JJ and KEM both. But then the feeling was that I'm higher in the list in Nair, and in KEM I'll be somewhere lower in the list. So I mean, that peculiar psychology that it may be easy to sort of top the list. So I took admission at Nair and continued in Nair, Tokyo National Medical College.
So that means you are through and through a Nair girl, right?
Through and through, yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah.
I joined in 58 as an undergraduate student,
Okay.
then postgraduate, then lecturer, then assistant professor, professor, head of the department.
Everything, yeah. I'll come to your specialization a little later.
Yeah.
I want to take you back to your undergraduate days in the college,
Hmm.
both about formal teaching in lecture halls and bedside teaching. Now, what sort of impression your teachers had in that? I mean, both in the lecture hall and in bedside. I mean, what impression do you have of those teachers?
Lectures were not very, I mean, we didn't enjoy lectures anyway.
Okay.
Bedside teaching was good. And the teachers were fairly strict. I mean, one had to follow proper bedside manners. If the questions they asked or somewhat like British influence on their mind. So it looks a little bit artificial, but but a lot of stress on clinical.
So would you say that you had a sound clinical grounding during your MBBS days?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And overall teachers were quite good. And we had to go through the local tests of surprise tests and all that. And even in MBBS, DCH, MD, or throughout, I could score, I could stand first. So I think if
Wonderful.
you judge the success by exam marks,
yeah, these are things you never told us before. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you could sense that there must be great intellect there behind what you were doing. The question I'm asking more and more about undergraduate education is in the context of what undergraduate education has become today. And I'll touch upon that because I want to know your views on that. That I remember that as an undergraduate student, every lecture was taken by the teacher. That means it was like school. There was no question of bunking lectures. There was no question of bunking practicals in the hospital and so on and so forth. Was it the same in your time? Teachers came on time, students came on time, lectures are always taken?
Yes, yes, most of them came on time. And the pattern was that till the boss comes, the registrar will teach us.
Yeah.
And then once the boss comes, he'll be out and the boss will start. But most of the teachers came on time. Even if they came late, the registrar saw that we don't waste our time. Plus, there was a lot of emphasis on history writing.
Okay.
With clinical notes of patients. A lot of weightage was given to that also. So.
Okay. What about emergencies? You stayed back in the hospital overnight on emergency days?
Not as undergraduates.
Not an undergraduate.
No,
okay.
No.
Okay. Which of those subjects that you studied in the undergraduate training did you like the most? Medicine, surgery, orthopedics, small terms, whatever. Which did you like most?
Physiology and medicine.
Okay, physiology and medicine. Why was that so? Because you liked the subject, the teachers were good?
Possibly teachers made this subject more interesting. And actually, physiology teacher was my own uncle, Dr. Indani.
Dr. Indani?
Yeah.
I've heard about that. I mean, I must say this for the audience. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No.
In first MBBS, the moment we entered the college, Dr. Indani, of course, you must be knowing, was the dean. And he took us the physiology lectures. And I honestly say that they were some of the best lectures I had ever in my life. I mean, it was very simple lecturing style, systematic, and he was beautiful. I mean, it was indeed wonderful. So you say that medicine, who is the teacher, some of the teachers that people know or unknown teachers, senior faculty that you were talking about?
Medicine?
Yeah.
Dr. Bamji was one.
Okay. And you were in his unit all along, or?
No, I did one house post subsequently.
Okay, you did one house post. Which brings us to the next and important question. Why pediatrics?
No, I like medicine, But overall, there was, when I was, we were ready for post-graduation, lot of rush to Wadia Hospital to do MD Gynec. And
Okay.
somehow I didn't want that. And somehow, at that time, there had no specific reason. But medicine may mean more emergencies and all that. And that time, my uncle, Dr. Indani, sort of told that pediatric may be worth it. He was also
Sure.
interested in pediatrics in his earlier time, but he couldn't do that.
Okay.
So, and it was just casually. It got into pediatrics and felt happy.
Okay. So you did pediatrics, you said, at Nayar Hospital.
Yes.
And who were your teachers then at that time? Who was your postgraduate teacher?
Dr. Shantilal Sheth,
Oh, okay. The big man.
who was
Fine.
supposed to be a medical politician. He used to
Yeah,
call
I know, but
himself.
yeah, he was a big man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you learned a lot of pediatrics from your teachers or just by working in the wards? As a
Possibly by working.
working in the wards, yeah. Can
Wards
you,
were very
yeah,
busy.
yeah, I mean, pediatrics is crazy, absolutely. I mean, it can be. Did you have instances where you had young children as cases and that the tragedy of their lives moved you a lot? Mother suffering, father suffering, family suffering, and child suffering.
Yeah. Basically, they're all poor class patients. No?
Yeah.
So, not affording, or the vegetable vendor selling off his hand cart for treatment. Because it was free treatment. They didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah,
But even then, there are many. And sometimes to feel that very smartly talking children and all that. And what type of family they have to live in. So it was a paradox sometimes. And it did feel sorry, of course.
Yeah.
And anybody dying, sudden death, which was so common in pediatrics.
Yeah.
And one case I remember, and I blame myself, that was lumbar puncture. One child came with 6 or 7 month old baby, convulsions, and lumbar puncture. And it was 100% coning. That postmortem was not done.
Okay.
But when I did the lumbar puncture, CSF came out in jet, and child stopped breathing, and that's it. I always felt very guilty about that.
The pediatrics of that time and the pediatrics of now are very different in the sense that we investigate a lot, we do a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Do you think over time you feel that clinical skills in pediatrics have deteriorated? I mean, you are there as a clinician for a very, very long time. And do you think that is responsible for being over-investigated?
Not only pediatrics, in almost all branches. It is clinical sense, it's sort of, there is attrition of that. Because we have investigations, our clinical sense has become blunt. Because we were taught how to diagnose typhoid abdomen, tubercular abdomen, perforation. I mean, typical, look at the tongue and diagnose the certain things. Because investigations were only blood count, urine and stool and screening, not even X-ray.
Yeah.
Later on, IVP and all became available.
Yeah.
And CT, sonography, all that was not
Much
even
better. Okay.
not known.
So you rose up to be the head of the department in pediatrics at Nayar over the year? Or you became lecturer, then professor and all that in Nayar Hospital?
Yeah.
And you were the head of the department of pediatrics?
73 I became head. 70 I became professor. 73 I became head of the department. Because the policy, it was full-time policy came in, that honorary could not head the department and full-timer. So actually, by seniority, there was Dr. Agarwal who was senior to me, but he was honorary.
Okay.
So he could not become head, and I sort of jumped the queue.
How old were you when you became the head of the department?
73. 41, 33. 41 I was born in 73, so 32.
32, okay. That's young head of department.
Young.
Okay. What was your challenges? I mean, were you prepared to be head of department? Were there any important challenges as the head of department, running the whole department, teaching, patient care, everything?
Firstly, hostility from the honoraries, because there was NT honorary, NT full-timer. I mean, they both...
because they're all over the place.
All over,
yeah.
And they felt that we are so junior and still. That was one thing. Secondly, a woman. That
Okay.
is somehow male-dominated society.
You felt discriminated in 1973 or whatever?
Yeah,
Or you felt, it's an important question. I mean,
yeah.
for a man to understand that is difficult, but I have heard this again and again,
Yes.
that there is discrimination against women. Okay.
And they're very judgmental. I had two other lady colleagues, Dr. Soneji, Dr. Lokeshwar.
Okay.
And if they came late, because when they were leaving, the child vomited, so they had to change the sari and all that and missed the train, it was taken, they laughed off. But if honorary came late, well, I had emergency last minute, my car got stuck up. So it was all, they were proud of it. Okay,
Okay, so there was a big divide between honorary and full-time.
Yeah, it was a big divide, yes.
Yeah, and even KEM, there are lots of fight between full-time and honorary. I mean,
yes.
The big guns fought. I mean, I've seen it myself, even as a student. So you had this experience of being the head of the department, if I can call the politics of being the head of the department. And the next question is, why did you want to become the dean? I still say that somebody who wants to become the dean should be out of his or her mind.
Okay.
Why did you want to become the dean?
Yes. No, after joining Nair Hospital, everything I got from Nair, degrees, experience. And when I joined the institution, was in its good times. Then there were some difficult times. And when I applied for the dean's post, there are many problems and difficult times. So I said, rather than criticizing and blaming anything, let me try. The institution which has given me so much, let me try to return something. And I'm sure it will be possible to do something. So I applied for the post and got selected. And got posted also in Nair, fortunately. So, and in 3 years, 86 to 89, I could streamline quite a few things because I knew every nook and corner of Nair Hospital.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what other deans I asked the same question personally have said, that there may be so many problems becoming the dean, but you have the opportunity to correct 100 times more problems when you are the dean of an institution.
Yes.
And that's what you are echoing. Okay. And then 1989.
Yes.
You came to KEM. You have no idea how people in KEM were trembling when they had heard that Dr. Pragna is coming to KEM.
Okay.
I don't think there was any animosity, but people were afraid.
Yes.
What was your feeling? Your feeling about coming to KEM from Nair?
Firstly, when I was asked by the then Commissioner, Mr. Tinekar, that he'll be transferring me to KEM, I objected. I said, I don't want to leave Nair because slowly things are getting to normalcy in Nair. And now why should I go there? So he's telling, no, it is a bigger challenge, bigger problem. And he felt that KEM needs certain improvements, which I'll be able to do it. Plus, it is bigger challenge and it will be able to do something better. So I came in, not only that time I'd heard from some senior staff members of KEM, they tried to alert me. Don't come to KEM. KEM doesn't like outsiders. KEM doesn't accept outsiders. Not only that, they went to commissioner also and told, don't post me in KEM.
I see.
That,
I didn't know that. Okay.
That don't appoint. 2-3 senior teachers and commissioner sort of told me that they come to me, not only requested, they almost tried to pressurize him that I should not be shifted. KEM should have KEM dean only. So Mr. Tinekar, in his curt language, he's saying inbreeding is never good. So you should have an outsider.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
and when I came, I had a little bit of apprehension that there are people, some hostility was there. So.
Then I completely changed tracks now. You became dean. Many of us know what all you did for us and the discipline that you instilled, the way you handled papers, the way you took decisions. Rapid. I remember when papers were sent to you, it was a yes or no. There was no please speak, maybe done, nothing. You just took decisions, which is very different from what many other deans did before and after. Can you think of something very, very important that you did in KEM that you thought was would make a big difference to the working in KEM?
In general, I was wanting discipline. Second thing, cleanliness. Both cleanliness of hardware and software, meaning a campus should be clean. Plus our handling of the issues papers, files, rules, everything also should be clean. And third thing was Mr. Karandikar was the deputy commissioner. He always insisted to take decisions because earlier his experience was that the deans will send everything to him for advice and do what they want ultimately. So he said, take decision, right or wrong. But I thought so that if the power has been given to us to take decision, take it. And plus another thing is maybe in the family also, my grandfather who was founder principal of Odar College, he had been very, very compassionate but very strict principal.
Okay.
And possibly a little bit I imbibed from him also.
Okay. No, even today people talk, those who have worked with you talk of how things were yes or no. I mean, they call it yes or no deal during your time, and life was easy. Even if you said no, it was a fast no. It was not dilly-dallying. This famous BMC thing, may be done. What does may be done mean? Anyway, and then we have this. Now I want to ask you some difficult questions. I'm sure you're aware of what's going on in the colleges and hospitals now. You're aware that private practice is allowed. I think it was after your time, when Mr. Kunte was the additional commissioner, that a decision was taken to allow private practice for full-time doctors. But that has been there for some time. What do you think is going on with that? What do you think is the effect of that on patient
What
care?
I read is, what I know about these hospitals mainly from newspapers or sometimes somebody's personal experience. But overall, initially I was a little interested. At that time I realized that things have deteriorated a lot. And it was after duty hours practice and all that. But it is during duty hours also people are not available. And 3-4 times it did happen that people wanted chitti, dudhwala and breadwala and all that. So when I gave them chitti, I told them that I don't guarantee anything. But they told me, big doctors don't come to OPD or expiry date medicine was given and etc. etc. So overall, I thought that maybe availability of doctor was not there. And I recollected my time because it was compulsory that at least by 9 o'clock, at least one senior doctor has to come. By 8:31 resident, 9 o'clock, by 9 and 11, of the 3 senior doctors, at least one has to be present. But then I was told that it doesn't happen. So, I mean, this is hearsay. How much is the truth?
Okay,
I don't
fine.
know.
I mean, okay. The other problem now is about education, which I'm really concerned about, and I want your advice on that. Is that I hear now from people who are still working in KM hospital that undergraduate students do not go to the wards. There are no ward rounds. There are no ward clinics. There are no ward exams, and students are outside the wards learning from books, solving MCQs. And when I asked the senior faculty, they said, Ravi sir, you don't understand. Nothing can be done about it. If this environment is there and children don't go to the wards and learn, what do you think can be done? I mean, how can this be helped?
Now, today, success is marks and money. By what means you collect it doesn't matter. And coaching class culture has come in also. So, as long as anybody asks, nobody asks questions also, but anybody asking question, he will be told, this won't come in exam, don't worry. Finished. So, ultimately, and then scoring mark by whatever means. So, learning clinical medicine, I think, doesn't greatly matter, number one. Number two, that compulsion which earlier teachers had. We were supposed to present the case. Suppose the case belonged to me. I was supposed to present to the boss, clinician, and he'll ask me all possible questions. And nowadays there is no history writing. There is the clinical rounds also, as you say, they are not there. So this.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it has come to. And I think of when people tell me, senior faculty tell me, Ravi sir, you don't understand. Nothing can be done. And I feel that there's something really, really wrong. If you learn,
then of course we must make efforts. No question.
Yeah, I mean,
one or two teachers can be invited to go bad. Okay, that you'll have to do this. Students may not like it, or that will cheap popularity, or I don't know whether pressure from above.
Yeah, I go to KM off and on for something or the other, and I cross students outside the canteen, and I just get talking to them and ask them, why don't you people go to the wards and why don't you attend lectures? And the standard answer is, sir, what is the use of going? Nobody comes to teach us.
Okay.
That's one thing. If you hear the teachers keep saying students don't come. And I don't know what the truth is.
Okay.
So somewhere in between, that blame game goes on between students and teachers. And there is so much so-called monitoring by the Medical Council of India or whatever it's called today. They have electronic attendance system. People have to come, so on and so forth. But in spite of that, here we have people who are learning swimming without going into the swimming pool.
Correct. It will be robotic medicine within a few days time finish.
Yeah. I mean, what they will treat and who they will treat. Luckily, our time is over. We may not have to be treated by them, but younger people will be treated by God knows what type of patients. And of course, as you say, there will be so much more investigations for all of these people. So do you have, from your own experience,
even in examiner, MD or DCH examiner, somebody influentially appear and the co-examiner will say, pass him. I said, tomorrow if your child is not well, will you have courage to give this child get treated by him? If you say yes, okay. Otherwise, you know business too. When somebody doesn't have basic knowledge. So here also that if these are doctors, will we have had to take our relatives to them?
Okay. Yeah, that's a way of looking at whom should we pass and whom should we not pass. The other thing is that about the admission process. You said about interscience, I said about interscience. Very simple. You got so many marks in interscience, there's a merit list, and you got it. Now there are entrance tests and there are national exit tests, and they call it next now. There is a single exit test for all of India. You think it's a good thing?
Too many exams is a bad thing. I mean, evaluation.
Yeah, that replaces the final MBBS exam, as far as I know. All over the country, there will be one common test. And if you, and everything postgraduate depends on that, so that the so-called NEET will go away now. That's my understanding. So if all India has one common test, and there is an all India merit list of all students on which postgraduate admission is given and NEET goes away, do you think it's a good thing? I feel it's a good thing. I mean, it may be a lot of practical problems.
Centralization up to a limit is good. But otherwise, there is going to, the decentralization will be fine. And actually, you recollect, I don't know, when we were resident doctors, preference was given locally. KEM boy can enter KEM first. And leftover seats will be open to outsiders. And maybe it was extreme, but otherwise, I don't think the exams will be fair.
Okay, fine. Now, I will ask you some personal questions now about your experiences of dealing with the administration. The one that was very good, you mentioned about Mr. Tinaikar and how he was proactive in taking decisions. There may be others who came in the way of your taking decisions or did not let you function. I mean, you did not tell names, but you can give examples of how you're frustrated with what goes on in higher administration.
As tender committee chairman, when the meeting is over, we'll take certain decisions and record. And then after some time, somebody will want to change the whole thing. And say immediate boss, deputy commissioner will tell me to change. So I said, if it was discussed and decided in the meeting, it will have to take it up again in the meeting and then only change. Now that would not be liked by them. So when your immediate boss and immediate subordinate join hands, it's a personal inconvenience. They'll try to cause inconvenience, and that sort of thing has happened often. Or asking you to do something which is not legal or correct. And when your phone came, so and so should be given admission or transfer or whatever it is. I used to send the file. I record that and send the file, submit it for confirmation. Telephone received on such and such a day, such and such a time. Advice, so this should be done, submitted for confirmation. This thing.
That's a good
and you do it, implement an advice, and some problem comes up. Then say, I never told like that. It is misunderstanding. You should think of it and blame again. So that sort of thing often. And forced to do wrong things, wrong purchase, wrong decisions. If you refuse, the personal inconvenience is there. But it's okay. I was prepared for that. So.
Okay. the other big issue these days, and even in my days, was labor unions and the hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
You had big problems with labor unions. How did you address that?
No, there were some problems, but overall, I saw that if you take, when the union meetings are there, you take fair decisions, implement them fast, and then
Okay.
be firm, come what may. Little bit of flexibility for minor things, okay. But
Yeah.
otherwise, and union people are quite cooperative. For example, there was a DNP exam in the MLT, and this union leader Ratan Lal came to inform me
Okay.
that आज 2 बजे हम लोग मोर्चा लाने वाला है, we are going to shout. And that shouting is what? हमारी मांगे पूरी करो नहीं तो
Yeah,
कुर्सी
yeah,
खाली,
yeah.
whatever it is. It's a periodic meeting. I said आप लोग shout करोगे, the exam is going, and they'll be disturbed. तो आज मोर्चा लाओगे आप, नहीं तो कल लाएंगे मोर्चा, आज नहीं, आज cancel.
Okay, okay.
There are many things, or certain facilities which were provided. Before implementation, union fellow will come say, 2 दिन ठहर जाओ, union का meeting के बाद करो, so that we get the credit.
Okay, okay.
Which is,
Okay.
but they did disrupt a few things.
Now, as we come toward the end of the interview, I ask you this thing. In all of your career as deans of Nair or KEM, are there decisions that you have taken that you are very proud of or happy about that made a big difference to future generation?
I think routine. What is right is to be done. What is, or rather, who is correct is not important. What is correct is important, whosoever it may be.
So you mean
And
you were always doing the right thing, and that was what made you happy?
what I thought was right, yeah. And
Okay.
there were certain episodes, now these political pressures and all that. One example, near our oxygen capsule, there was a
Yeah.
board, no parking
Yeah.
of vehicles. And once from Tarapur, the vehicle came containing 7-day supply of liquid oxygen, and the car was blocking it. We realized that it belonged to one resident doctor who was in the theater assisting his boss. So send somebody, requested him to take out the car. He said he's busy. So give the key, we'll remove the car. He didn't do that. So I told the security staff, call the towing team, which was right near Bharat Mata Theatre, and let them tow the car out. So car was towed, oxygen was filled. And that resident doctor happened to be a very senior officer, higher officer's relative.
Okay.
So immediately I got the phone. Tumhe aisa aisa kela? I said, yes, I've done it. Because our oxygen Tarapur vehicle will go back. And there is a board, no parking. So you should win people by love. Prema nahi chinta. I said, how many people's lives would be endangered if you do that?
Okay.
And then naturally, he didn't forget about it. So many such things have happened, but whether whosoever it is, if it's right is right, wrong is wrong. So it is.
Okay. And
Some pressures came for taking wrong decisions. That also, it was that okay. I get out if there is any problem.
Okay. And what about March strikes? Forget about labor union. Resident doctor strikes.
Yeah,
You
March
find them
strikes.
off and on. Yeah.
Higher you go in the hierarchy or level, the strikes are more difficult. That the honorary association was the worst. Or
Okay.
full-time teacher association, because the manipulation and miscommunication, all that much for them, and they feel that they know higher ups and politicians, and they were our patients and all that. So overall, it's instigation. Ultimately, they don't know why they've gone on strike. Also, particularly these juniors.
Okay. Now you have been dean for what, 15 years? Dean and director. 10 years at KEM and Nair, 5 years more. Totally.
I didn't follow. No, please repeat.
No, I'm just saying that you were dean director for 15 years, combined Nair and KEM, about that.
Yeah.
So that's a vast experience. What serious advice?
No, I could tell people that other deans normally, most of them become dean around 454, 55.
Yeah.
So they promise, but before implementing, they're out. So that they don't have to worry. Whereas if I commit something, I'm going to be there for 10 years. So I'd not be able to escape, give promise and then don't implement. So that was when, and at a younger age, possibly, maybe there may be disadvantages, but there, I think it was okay. Family members cooperated. That was another. Husband cooperated, family members cooperated, particularly with difficult decisions.
Yeah, sometimes you go home and you take the problem home and then you need some support, I
Or
suppose.
greed forced into corruption and all that. So
Mm,
there was nothing of that sort. And it was all that get out, design and get out, that sort. And it has happened with a few one commissioner rather. He
Okay.
told me that he was not happy with my decision because his relative did not attend the call in the obstetric ward. Baby died. The lady was admitted for 1 month for bad obstetric history. Baby
Okay.
died. And she had written on the call book, no mobile that time, call book, please don't go sending me repeated calls. So
Okay.
naturally, and that lady happened to be some staff member's relative, registration clerk or somebody's.
Okay.
So there was havoc. So I called her and told her, and also sent a note asking for explanation before punishing. So that time I had series of phone calls. They don't do
Okay.
that and all. Just tell her and it's okay.
Okay. Okay.
And then immediately within few days, transfer. The dean said it should be transferred. So I should go to science. So I said I've been transferred once. Other deans have not been transferred even once. So I fully agree with you, transfer them. And I came to KEM with the condition that I will not, I leave, once I'm asked to go leave KEM, I leave municipality. So then, anyway, so this sort of threats and all, and even politicians in the security guard was running a liquor then in orthopedic servants' quarters. He was caught and suspended pending inquiry. So immediately phone from mayor and another politician. आपला माणूस आहे सोडून द्या दम द्या आणि सोडून द्या shout at him and leave him. I said that will not happen. And so
Yeah. Now talk of something pleasant. I mean, soon KEM would be 100 years old.
Yes.
If you were the dean of KEM, what would you have the vision for the next 100 years of KEM? What do you think KEM's priority should be? That would be good advice for all of us. If you were the dean, what would you concentrate on?
Vague priorities, well, patient care first, medical education next, and research to follow. I mean, it's absolutely gross priorities.
Okay.
But otherwise,
would you be changing anything now that suppose you have funds available, something can be done? I mean, it's just an open-ended thing. Any question?
I understand.
Yeah.
But I think it's, I've closed that chapter. So,
okay,
as
fine.
I tell that somebody said Happy Doctor's Day. So I thanked him and said I'm not doctoring anymore. And I'm really, the chapter is closed.
But the experience and the wisdom, I mean, you may not practice, but you have that experience in your mind and
I remember KEM very much, experiences in KEM very much, but I don't miss it. I don't miss KEM.
Okay.
Honestly.
No, yeah, that's fine. I mean, there are people of different types. Some can be very objective. I mean, I was there, I did it at the end of the story type of thing. Anyway, as this is the final question, is there something else that you want to tell us? Anything else at all? As medical students, as doctors, as faculty, as deans, Pragna Pai's advice to all of us.
Okay, the thought which came when I was leaving was that when it was sort of standing on slippery slope and lollipops of temptation were offered to me, I didn't slip. And when I was standing erect, the gush of turbulent water came and surrounded me. I didn't fall down. So I think that's an achievement.
So you are again saying the same thing, that do what you think is right.
No, should listen to everybody and then finally do what you feel is right.
Okay,
but
fine.
Not claiming that I was always right. That may be so. But as I told you that it's something like closing the door, sort of stop. Think of KEM. I write a lot of articles, particularly on the humorous side. And a lot of mention about KEM, BMC, everything, unions.
Where is this writing?
It's a Gujarati newspaper, weekly column. It started in 93, it started. It's still continuing. Janmabhoomi Pravasi.
Okay, fine.
Sunday articles.
Okay, that is the end of this interview. I promise you half an hour. It has gone a little longer. Ma'am, thank you very much. And I'm sure all of the younger students will watch. The older people will say, what does Dr. Pai have to say? So this is very interesting.
Students do what they want, but there is no shortcut to hard work. That's it.
Yeah, okay.
So Thank you
Okay.
very much. And I'm very
Thank
sorry
you.
initially.
No, I
was
want
able to help
to
out.
I want to thank your neighbor also to
Yeah,
step in and help in this
I'm
house. Thank
sitting
you
in
very
his
much.
house. His house is like an office. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
basically an engineer working
Okay.
from home. So
Fine. Thank you very much, ma'am. I'll stop the interview.
over. No? Acha.
Yeah. Thank
Now,
you.
before we're keeping good health, you are.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm walking, talking. What more do you want?
Where do you stay?
I stay at Shivri in Dosti.
Dosti. Acha, acha.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Very close to KEM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yes, yes, yes. Acha, acha. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Now I request the tech team to play the reflections video by Dr. Swarupa Bhagwat.
Evening to you all. It is indeed my pleasure to speak about Reflections on Medical Humanities, annual volume published by Dr. Manu.V.L.Kothari Chair and Division of Medical Humanities, Gosumec Alumni Association, under the patronage of Dr. Sangeeta Rawat, Dean, Seth GS Medical College and KEM Hospital, Mumbai. The first issue of Reflections was published in the year 2019, the theme being History of Medicine, Looking Back to Improve the Future. The book comprises invited essays, poems, cartoons, quiz, crossword, and articles which were published before in different medical journals on evolution of branches and development of specialties in healthcare, great personalities and inventions in medicine and healthcare overall. The issue for the year 2020 was based on interpersonal relationships in healthcare. Again, invited essays and cartoons on doctor-patient relationship, doctor-doctor relationship, and medical teacher-student relationship were included. For the year 2021, we chose very apt theme of COVID-19, the human angle. Essays and poems in English, Hindi, Marathi, paintings and photographs contributed by teaching and non-teaching staff and students of Seth GS Medical College and KEM Hospital who shared their experiences both on personal and professional fronts during the pandemic. The theme for the year 2022 was Literature and Medicine. It is a collection of articles, book reviews, and poems in English, Hindi, and Marathi, and also paintings and cartoons related to the theme. Now, for the years 2023 and 24, the proposed theme is Reminiscences, Our Days at St. GS Medical College and KEM Hospital. As we move towards the centenary year of our institution, let our fond memories come alive in the form of nostalgic writings about our learnings, not only medicine, but also life lessons that we learned here. Let us talk about our devoted teachers who inculcated values and shaped our lives, priceless friendships which we cherish lifelong. Our writings will instill a feeling of pride and a sense of belonging in all of us. The readers of the book, we as well as the future generations of students, will understand the power and beauty of expression and reflections. We will be enlightened about the history and glory of our institutions, past students who have contributed to the welfare of the society, and the role model teachers and mentors. We know, irrespective of the generation, we are bound by a common bond of being GSites. However, we also need to accept and adapt to changes which are inevitable following technological advances and societal transformations. At the same time, the students will learn that even though the changes are occurring, the humanitarian values and principles of ethics are unchanging. Hence, we appeal that the reminiscence and nostalgic memories shared on this platform of virtual reunions be expressed in the form of writings to be included in our next issue of Reflections. I, Dr. Swarupa Bhagwat, Editor Reflections and Associate Professor, Department of Transfusion Medicine at this institution, will be privileged to connect with the individual batch coordinators for sharing more details regarding the same. Thank you very much.
We'd like to thank our Dean, Dr. Sangeeta Rawat Madam, and Academic Dean, Dr. Harish Pathak, for their continuous support and encouragement. We thank the Gosumec Alumni Association for the administrative support for correspondence and financial transactions of Dr.M.V.L.Kothari Chair and Divisions of Medical Humanities. We thank Mr. Tushar and Mr. Badal for audiovisual and technical support, Dr. Maitre for video recordings. Last but not the least, a big thank you to Dr. Pragna Madam and Dr. Ravi Ramakantan sir for their wonderful interview. Thank you so much.